You have already learned the rules to form the present, imperfect, and future of the first and second conjugations. First and second are not enough, you worthless scoundrel. With the help of this hand on a stick and 2 orange skeletons, we will explore the present system of the third conjugation.
With conjugations 1 and 2, you learned a formula for the various tenses of the present system, where you took the present stem, and then you maybe added a tense marker, and then the personal endings. So the present tense was, in general, the present stem plus the personal endings. The imperfect tense was the present stem plus the letters BA, the tense marker, plus the personal endings. And the future tense, in general, was the present stem plus the letters BI, the tense marker, plus the personal endings. But it wasn't usually enough just to memorize the general rule, because there were certain places where the rule wasn't followed. Like right here in the first singular, or third plural, of the future tense.
I'm sorry I called you a scoundrel. The truth is, the third conjugation is a bit more annoying than the first and second conjugations were.
Remember that you can identify the conjugation of a verb from the antepenultimate vowel in Principal Part 2. So this verb is first conjugation because we've got a long A right here. And this one is second conjugation because we've got a long E right here. Incidentally, if a verb ends in EO in Principal Part 1, that is also evidence that you have a second conjugation verb. Verbs of the third conjugation have a short E in this important place.
Okay, here comes the annoying part.
The short vowel E is a very weak vowel which changes easily. So the present tense doesn't quite look like the present stem plus the personal endings. Instead, the vowel of the present system is changed into a variety of different vowels for the different persons and numbers. O, I, you. Do-co, do-kiss, do-kit. Do-camis, do-catis, do-kunt.
I'm sorry I called you worthless, too. The imperfect is a bit more reasonable.
For the imperfect, take the stem of the third conjugation verb, but lengthen that E. Then follow the same rule we saw for conjugations 1 and 2. Stem plus the letters BA plus the personal endings. Duque bomb, duque boss, duque bot. Duque bombus, duque botus, duque bont.
The future is not what you would expect.
Remember, the rule in the first and second conjugations was to use a tense marker, the letters BI, to mark a future tense. The third conjugation makes its future in a totally different way. For conjugation 3, the E is the sign of the future. You see that we have E's throughout, except in the first person singular, where the letter A is the sign of the future. Ducam, duques, duquet, ducamus, ducatus, ducent.
It's very important to know whether a verb is of the second or third conjugation, because the E is the sign of the present in the second conjugation, and E is the sign of the future in the third conjugation.
And the imperative, too, shows vowel weakening. While the singular imperative is just what you'd think, the present stem alone. When we add the TE ending of the plural imperative, the E of the stem becomes an I, much like in the present tense.
And that is the unfortunate truth of the third conjugation, you gormless bugbear.